How would you describe your training style? Is it like really holding someone accountable, or is it like, hey, I'm laying this out for you. If you don't do it, then you're the only person you're cheating is you. How would you describe your training style?
That's fair. That's a good question. I think it's tough to analyze the self truly, but I think that because I know what I hope and I aim for my training style to be, and I think that I like to think that that's where it really lands. But I think that the word that I would use would be honesty and like
Right.
real. Like I have to keep it 100% real and I have to keep it 100% honest. And that's why someone would pick me would be because they would want truth and they would want something that when they go and test it tomorrow in their life, it stands up and it holds up, you know? And I think that's where the pillar is and that's where the foundation is. So I think that I'm less concerned about anything other than if it's true and if it's real,
I
so
like
that's
the
not,
fact that
yeah,
I like the fact that you try a lot of stuff on yourself.
yeah,
And that was one of the things that
yeah,
you had sent me when we were
yeah.
texting back and forth, and we were talking about that, where you were like, now you sleep during the day and you're awake at night because you're experimenting, off hour experiment. What are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now I'm running a nocturnal schedule for a few reasons, and I think like
Okay.
it's something that I wanted to do. So what I'll notice is when I put my eye on something and I want to do something, then I'll find all these reasons to do it. So maybe I'm just coming up with all these reasons, but I feel like it will help me a lot with my music, and it feels like the right thing to do in terms of a spiritual offering, and it also feels like something that will help me a lot with a group of people that are neglected. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I think that people that work nights, they work nights while everybody else is asleep, while the majority of people are asleep.
Mhm.
So I think that I've noticed, not to get weird, but I've noticed there's like a day world and like a night world. And they're
Of
like two
course.
little worlds that exist kind of side by side where it's really difficult to really be a part of both,
Right.
unless it's that dusk phase where you're going to sleep if you're a night person or when you're waking up if you're a day person. And I think that I realized that I haven't spent a lot of time in that world by choice. And I think that, I wanted to tune into it because the place that it really started was I study magic. I study magicians and mystical people. And
Okay.
somebody that pops up a lot is Rasputin. And I think a rumor and a thing that's known about Rasputin is that he was able to control his pupils manually. So he could look into somebody's eyes and make his pupils dilate all the way and then make them go all the way down into a pin needle. And it was the type of thing that was it proved a very high degree of mastery over the body. And I think it's the type of thing like Wim Hof being able to, do what he does with the ice. And it's like
Right.
this what seems like a miracle. It sounds almost impossible. And I believe that he was able to do it. So I've been hunting for this way to do it. And I found the Tibetan eye chart, luckily, because one of my friends sent it to me, who's a mentor spiritually in a sense. And I realized that through studying it, the pupil dilates and doesn't dilate in response to light. And I think the eye has an adaptable sensitivity to light. So I decided I wanted to improve my night vision and also attempt to manually control my pupil. So that's where this kind of started. And then I realized that not only that would probably become more possible and I would understand that better, but then all these other little doors opened. And there was this, all these reasons popped up on why to do it. So I think that to sum it all back up, like if there's somebody that works nights right now and they're awake during the night and they sleep during the day, it can be very difficult to get your meals and workouts in when everything's closed when you're awake, or when you're sleeping when everything's open. And I think that it's the same challenges that everybody faces with fitness, which is what's keeping me out of the gym, what's keeping the food out of my mouth, what's keeping me from the program. Because I can give anybody the program now, and the real work kicks in when what about the program was difficult. So I think that that's where I realized there's a group of people, and it was through my own experience where when I was working at LA Fitness, there was somebody that I trained, and I'm not going to say her name, but she had to train at 4 a.m.
Mm.
And there's not a lot of people that I feel like I lost or that I couldn't help. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I'll be honest, I felt that I could not help her with her goal, and we did not reach her goal together. And it's something that bothers me a lot.
Sure.
And I think that a big piece of it was the fact that she had to work at 4 a.m. and it was very difficult to do that scheduling because I was at the gym until close the night before.
Yeah.
And it was when I became the only trainer that it became unmanageable for me. And I started to break my own program, which is a problem because I can't comfortably instruct anybody if I'm messing my program up. So that's the foundation of me being able to teach. So I felt that I wasn't able to help her. And I remember that. And I think that's also a piece of this because she was a night worker and she would want to work out right before she went to bed at like 5 a.m. And she had a new daughter. And the reason why she wanted to improve her health was, you know, for her daughter. And I still have her contact information. And my goal after all this is to actually reach back out. But I know that if she's in that position, there's a lot of people in that position that it's very difficult to do something like schedule because not to go deep down the rabbit hole, but our entire calendar and everything is set up for the day. It's not set up for the night, you know, so it's harder to adapt to it. And that's where in my own experimentation, I can feel it. There's all of this resistance. It becomes more difficult to plan the meals, the workouts, the phone calls, everything, because it's a different schedule. So I think the same way that somebody has to live it to be able to train you, if there's a lot of people that are night people and there's a night world, there might be a night trainer that's needed for a group of people. And I think that's where I might not have to live this way forever, but I've never lived this way before. And I'm feeling every single day I do it, I'm learning things. And I think that it's the type of thing that even just the ability to meet night people. If I'm asleep at night, how do I meet the night people that are awake at night?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can't do it unless I leave a little message for them that they find, and then we play ping pong with a text or something. But it's like, I don't know, it goes back to the fundament that's just living it. So it's like, I like dark music, I like dark art, I like darkness. And I think that there's a misconception that equates darkness with evil. And I think that it's rooted in a type of racism where dark is bad and light is good. And I think that it's woven into a lot of things. But I think that on a fundamental level, it's choosing darkness. It's choosing the night, and it's choosing to kind of offer the day hours to be asleep, to get access to the night hours. Because I really want to write music about vampires and nerdy stuff like that. And I think it's how I might want to live. So I'm trying it out. But that's where it started, was the eye, trying to figure out the eye and how to get it. Because where I'm at with it now is I've improved my night vision a little bit. But the thing that keeps hitting me is I'll spend a night and then I'll go to the gym and there's all these really bright lights everywhere. So it'll be like, you know, this simulated daytime environment. Right. And I think that's where you're not truly, you know, living at night, because then your eyes don't have darkness to adapt to. So like one of the things that I'll do is I'll sit in a pitch black room with my eyes open for 10 minutes and let my eyes attempt to adapt to that darkness. And they won't be able to because there's not enough light, you know. But it's the type of thing where after that, I'll notice at night, if I flick the lights off in my apartment, my eyes will adapt to the darkness just a little quicker, and it'll be able to catch the detail just a little faster or something like that. And I think now that I'm talking about it, it goes all the way back to when I was a child. I was a very fearful child. I was afraid of the dark my entire childhood. Right. And there's probably a part of my brain and body that still is. And I want to get past that, because I think I've finally tuned into the fact that fear is an alarm system for danger, and the dark is no more dangerous than the light. So why would I be more afraid of it? You know, so I think it's the type of thing that's what I'm tuning into and also experimenting with.